Hayom Yom from today, 24th, Menachem Av. Our Father should comfort us, right? That's the name, Menachem Av. A tradition handed down from the Rebbe to Rebbe. This is a tradition. It's a tradition about the extent of Avis Yisrael that's incumbent upon us to have for our fellow Jews. During the well-known conflict between Hasidim and their opponents, the Hasidim told the Alter Rebbe about the terrible abuse they suffered from the plain, unlettered Misnagdishe folk. The Rebbe said, grandfather, as he called the Baal Shem Tov, deeply loved simple folk. In my first days in Mezrich, the Rebbe, the Maggid, is the Alter Rebbe speaking, his Rebbe was the Maggid, said, it was a frequent customary remark of the Rebbe, the Baal Shem Tov, that love of Israel is love of God. Expression brought in other places, one loves whom your beloved loves. One loves God who loves who your beloved loves. So you are children of Hashem, all of you, who is your God. When one loves the Father, one loves the children. This is the extent of Ahavas Yisrael, no matter what. Ahavas Yisrael, because we are all from Av Echad Lekulonu. There is one Father for all of us. All right. Lessons in Tanya. We're talking about a pasuk about halakim. Halakim are pieces. No matter what the differences are, no matter what the pieces are separated from each other, there's something that holds us all together, and that is our deep-rooted source in Hashem Yisborech. Listen, in Tanya, we're speaking about halakim. We're speaking about a pasuk, about the pieces, the differences, the parts that Hashem creates, and then that which is above parts. And we're speaking today in Lessons in Tanya, Volume 4, page 134. This is going to be the wrap-up of this particular chapter. And in the Likutei Moharan, it's on page Kuf Yud Beis. In the middle of we'll count down from the line if you're following. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Begins with abbreviation. What we're doing here is darshaning, interpreting, and hopefully ingesting the interpretive understanding of a pasuk. The pasuk says, Ashreinu matev chelkeinu. How great, how good are your portions, Umararim goraleinu, and how sweet is your lot. Now, lot and portions both are divided up, right? One is you have a piece of something, you have a big piece of candy, you give little pieces to little kids, you divide it up into pieces, halakim. And then there's a lot, a lottery, which also divides things up, but they come from different levels. And that's what we've been exploring here. The pieces, the halakim, refer to the Torah and the mitzvahs as it's divided up and given to everybody equally in 613 pieces, so to speak. And today we're going to transition from that to an understanding of what Goraleinu is. Goraleinu in general is that which is above reason. A lot, when one wins a lottery, there's nothing reasonable about that. There's nothing that's planned about that. It just happens. It's still a portion, but it's a portion that's coming from a higher level. In large understanding, this has been a way of approaching, another way of approaching the difference between God as he encompasses all worlds and God as he fills all worlds. He fills all worlds with all the multiplicity and the diversity. And that multiplicity and diversity is reflected in the Torah itself, the 613 mitzvahs, which is reflected in the 613 body parts. So one could create, and in the past it had been created, and my understanding is the book which explains this does not exist, but I would love to be corrected on that, that there was and is perhaps a book which aligns each of the 613 mitzvahs with each of the 613 body parts. So one could say that in a certain way that, deep practice of any one of those mitzvahs has a very deep effect on the particular body part which is associated with it. So that's the 613, and that's the Mamali Kol Almin, the way God fills the worlds with the Torah and its 613 mitzvahs. And we'll begin there today. V'hine, even though this revelation through occupation in Torah and mitzvahs, is generally the same. All of us, it says, Torah achas lekulanu. There's one Torah to all of us. We all have the same Torah. We all have the same 613 mitzvahs. Because there is one Torah, and there is one literally judgment, one din Torah, the laws of the Torah, for everybody. Nevertheless, when you get specific, not all souls or spirits or neshamas are equal in this. He's here giving us three levels of the soul that are invested in the body: the nefesh, the ruach, and the neshama. These are the parts that are invested with the body and actually have direct influence on the body. And then we have Chaya and Yehida, the other two portions, which sometimes are lumped together, Chaya Yehida, so you get four parts of the neshama: nefesh, ruach, neshama, and Chaya Yehida, each one connected to one opposite and meaningful in terms of each of the four letters of God's name, which is a topic I'm bringing to the table, but has been discussed before, and we'll discuss it again when, God willing, we'll recapitulate the entire Tanya once more. But each and every person, even in general, in terms of specificity, that in a specific way, kol neshamas or ruchos v'neshamas shavas be'inyan zeh. We're all equal in that we are all embodied in and meant to practice the 613 commandments of the Torah. Lefi es v'zeman gulam, according to the particular time of this incarnation of these souls, and when we come into this world, as our sages have said, now here is a transition. It's all incumbent on all of us to do all of them. But we may find, and if you look to your own avodah, you may likely find, there are certain mitzvahs that you may be drawn to more than others, or certain mitzvahs which you find to be more inspirational than others. And that's what our sages have said. Your father, what was he more careful in? What mitzvah was he more careful in? And the word zahir, by the way, also means shining. Zohar. So if you look at the letters, Zayin, He, Re, Zohar. In what mitzvah did he shine? What did he shine in? What lit him up, so to speak, even more than the other mitzvahs? And the answer, and this is brought in Gemara Shabbos. And what was your father more lit up? What was he more careful in? And in this particular case, Omelei B'tzitzis. Tzitzis was his special. He had a special draw toward tzitzis. V'chein, and likewise, ein kol hador shavim. Not all generations are equal. Ki kamei she'evre ha'odam, just like in the limbs of a person, kol ever yesh le pa'ula puratis umiyuchedes. Each one of the limbs of the body has a commonality that it's one of the limbs of the body, and in that sense, each one of the mitzvahs of the Torah has a commonality because it's one of the mitzvahs of the Torah. But every limb has its own particular function. Ayin l'rois, the eye to see, ve'ozon l'shmoya, and the ear to hear. So kach, similarly, b'chol mitzvah, in each and every mitzvah, mer er prati, there shines a particular light, umeyuchad, a particular singular light from the Or Ein Sof, Baruch Hu. And even though every one of us needs to be incarnated until we fulfill each of the 613 mitzvahs, and here we're back to the singularity, the chalakim, the way they're divided, 613, and we have to come into ourselves perhaps numerous times in order to fulfill all these 613. Nevertheless, only it isn't just to fulfill; it's to get that specialty. It's to be fortunate enough to be gifted in a particular gilgul with a particular mitzvah or mitzvahs that you are especially drawn to. So he says it isn't necessarily that you come back here to fulfill something you didn't fulfill before. It could be that you're coming back to fulfill something in a much more precious and special way that's being allotted to you. This is the beginning. This is the idea of the lottery, the gorel, something that's been gifted to you, won in a lottery, not for any particular reason. The reasons are all the Torahs. God has commanded us to do the 613. But the specialness of a particular mitzvah and the glow and the warmth and the attraction is something that's allotted to you from a level of Hashem which is higher than reason. That's called the goyrel, the lottery. And you come into this world to polish that apple, so to speak, even though you've eaten 100 apples before, so to speak. So, back to our place. For that extra specialness, with an extra kind of power and an extra kind of diligence, and with more strength, which may be doubled and redoubled that over the time that you had done it in a previous incarnation. Lamaila means zahiras shahar mitzvahs, and this mitzvah is the mitzvah that zahir, that shines to you, that you're more careful with, more than any other mitzvah. And this is what the Gemara said. What was most special to him? What was the most illuminated by him? Daika, specifically. So the advantage of this particular light, this particular mitzvah, for you, which is designed for you to bring out the specialness of the mitzvah, and for the mitzvah to have a special effect in you, a specific effect, the neshamas pratis to your specific souls, it's not subject to reason. It's like the goyrel which you won $1 million, not because it was actually picked out for you in a conscious way, but from a level which comes higher than direct conscious direction. It's something which is not in the level of tam v'das musag, not in the level of reason that can be understood. Why did, to use our mashal in Gemara Shabbos, why did his father have a special attraction to tzitzis? Why do you have a special attraction to particular mitzvahs? This is because of a gorel, something that's been allotted to you from beyond reason. Much, much higher than reason, understanding, intellect. Because so it rose up in God's mind in front of him. Yisbarach, may he be blessed. The dugmasa lamata, and the corresponding way of understanding this that we have down here in our earthly experience is the bechina, the level of a goyrel mamish, a lot. And with that, we have explained the pasuk Ashreinu Matev Chalkenu, something we can keep. We say this pasuk every day. Ashreinu Matev Chalkenu, Umanorim Goralenu, and we have a song about it in Chabad, at least, maybe others as well, and something to think about. Summing it up, we're all chayiv in the 613. That's what connects our body with his body. 613 body parts down here below with his 613 metaphorical, of course, body parts above. But beyond that, there's something special, something that has been designed for us from above, something that's more tasty than other mitzvahs, and these are the mitzvahs which Hashem has allotted to us from his level of Soviet Kol Olim, which is higher than reason. And that is today's Tanya. Any comments?
So those are the mitzvahs that you least want to do? That you have to push yourself?
No, just the opposite. The ones that you most want to do. Zahir, the ones that you light up when you do them. Zahir. The ones that are special for you.
Because depending on who you talk to, you'll be told either do that, what you're most attracted to, like what you most naturally turn towards, or whatever's hardest for you, that's your thing.
That's a different topic. That's a totally different topic. Yes. So, anybody else? Thank you. Certainly the ones that are most attracted to you are the ones that you have the most opportunity to embellish, right? You can be behider in those, mahader in those mitzvahs. Mahader means to beautify. That's what we're talking about here. Pay attention to those but pay attention to the other. Yeah, and of course the other is true, that oftentimes the things that are most difficult for you to do, that's where your avoider is, but that's not what we're talking about today. Okay, so short, sweet, that's it. What are the mitzvahs which are sweet for you? Hold on to them and embellish them even more. Until we meet again tomorrow. Hashem. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.